week's Move of the Week is The Maze Runner's The Scorch Trials. After having escaped the maze, the Gladers now face a new set of challenges on the open roads of desolation landscape filled with unimaginable obstacles.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to have family members in the military? I'm going to start profiling people at school who have family members in the military. I interviewed Mrs. Lenz and Evelyn Sofer.
My brother's name is Matty Sofer and he's in the Navy. He's 19.
Joshua Lenz will be 21 on Friday. He's in the Air Force and he's in E3.
It's weird because I'm so used to it being like the four of my family members. Now it's just the three of us. I feel like an only child, but it's alright.
He's in Germany, based in Germany right now, but in April he's going to be deployed to another base. We last saw him in October. I'm a worrier by nature, so I probably worry more than I need to. And even though he loves it and he says he's fine, obviously I might be a little more worried when he goes on his deployment. Not that he's going to be in a direct fighting or war zone, but still just him being overseas is worrisome.
Makes me sad because he's my best friend, but I know that he's on the right track and I'm proud of him and he's really enjoying it.
We are certainly very proud of him. He loves his country. He has always wanted to be in the military since he was little, so we knew this was coming, even though we may not have been so happy with it, but we certainly are happy that he decided. But it's certainly a lot of emotions, mixed emotions of pride and fear, and obviously being worried about him.
If you have family members in the military and you would like to be featured on What's Up Wednesday, please contact us.
Hello, I'm Tyler Silvis, and this is SAT Prefix of the Week. This week's prefix is over. The first word on the list is overspend, which means spend more than the expected or allotted amount. The next word on the list is overguard, which means excessively guarding someone and or something. The next word on the list is overcautious, which means excessively cautious. The next word on the list is overact, which means act a role in an exaggerated manner. The next word on the list is overheard, which means to hear without the speaker's intention or knowledge.
This song comes from the album Blurry Face, the band's fourth studio album, which was released 2 days early on March 17, 2015. And as of January of 2016, the album has sold 592,000 copies in the US alone. How did the musical go overall?
I thought it went really well. Sometimes the challenges show us just how good of a cast and crew you have. I have to say, it was not without its challenges. The fact that we're doing a modern show with all of the technical aspects that goes with, plus the fact that it was a 6-week rehearsal schedule. And normally for a high school show at our place, we're looking at about a 9.5-week production schedule. So the fact that they were able to pull that all together and to do a show of that level in 6 weeks is just amazing. We had an amazing crew that just did a great job. Had a new thing this year. We added a stage manager that was a student, Shanae Jackson, that she called the show a lot better than I've done in years. She just really pulled it out, and all of the kids, even through the challenges of, fire extinguishers that were not quite the right fire extinguisher, to having to deal with a sick co-star on stage and me having to come out and them having to, act with me. It was just really an amazing experience.
How do you feel the musical went?
I feel that the musical went really, really well.
I feel that the musical went rather well this year. I think it went better than last year's.
Musical went great, except for Sunday.
I think the musical went really well. I've been in 3 shows back at the Barrow Civic Theater, and I think this was the best one that I've been in, just because it was very complex, but yet it was a really funny show, and it went really well.
It went great. Sunday was a little iffy, but it ended up being a great performance.
Do you plan on continuing musical throughout your high school career?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, probably till I'm a senior, not gonna lie.
I do. Absolutely.
I really want to continue doing it next year. I mean, I've had a great experience the past 2 years, so I'd like to continue doing it.
Ever since I could remember, my parents have been, my dad plays the guitar and my mom also plays the cello and the piano, and they're both really good musicians, and because of that I've gotten into music and it's been part of my life ever since, so I hope to continue.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part of the Spamalot production was when Mr. McLaughlin shot a chemical fire extinguisher directly upwards, and then all the white dust fell to the auditorium floor and everywhere, and it was just the funniest thing ever.
Except for fire extinguishers
Yeah, fire
exploding on
extinguishers.
stage.
They tend not to be my favorite.
Favorite part of Spamalot, I think, was the scene with Prince Herbert and his dad. Because his dad was just really mean, but Prince Herbert was a trooper.
My favorite part of Spamalot was when Lux had to go on because it was so funny, and I just turned around and there he is in a wig. So that would have to be my favorite part of the show.
Just hanging out with my friends and the cast parties. The King's cast party in particular, the one that Allie organized, was really great. I really enjoyed it. The food was great, and just spending time with my friends was just awesome.
We asked Mr. Luxbacher what he thought was the best part of the musical.
I think it comes down to the challenges that we faced. Some of where the cast and crew earned my greatest respect, my highest levels of respect, was when we dealt with the challenges on Sunday afternoon. When Sid was sick and couldn't go on and I had to go out at the last minute, they were very gracious and worked around me. The fact that we had the fire extinguisher that was the wrong type. Normally we fire off CO2s that give a little bit of condensation, and that's what the clouds were. And we found out after it had gone off that we had a chemical one. And the cast is choking, the audience is choking. It could have shut down the show. It could have just been a disaster. But the kids pulled it together, the crew pulled it together, the cast pulled it together, and just really came up with something amazing. And that to me was probably one of the best moments. And just overall, watching those kids bring that show to life, it was just an amazing experience.
What was your favorite memory?
Definitely, absolutely, when Luxbacher had to come out in the last show with the blonde wig. That was hysterical.
My favorite memory of the show is probably being poisoned by fog from the fire extinguisher.
My favorite memory is the Sunday performance when everything turned somewhat to a disaster, but the audience somewhat didn't think it was a problem from what I could tell, so it turned out great either way.
How long have you been doing theater?
I've been in theater for 5 years.
I've been doing theater since I was about 8 years old. That's half my life.
I've been doing theater since 9th grade, and I've been doing dance since I was 7, so I've had quite a bit of experience with theater.
I've only done theater for the past 2 years. I did a production with Community Playhouse. I did their honky tonk, so I've only done 3 productions.
How was your overall experience?
I had a great experience with this show. I got to meet many new people, and especially with the incoming freshmen, I made a lot of new friends. I'm going to miss it a lot being a senior.
It was amazing. I loved Spamalot. It was great.
If 100 was the score, I would have had 110. It was a lot of fun.
Enjoyable, lots of great memories. I made a couple new friends, and I got to see a little bit more of Mr. Luxbacher and got to talk with some of my old teachers I had in middle school. So it was just overall great.
It was really great, and if you're on the fence about it or you don't want to do it, I would recommend it to you. It's really great. It's a lot of time, but it all pays off, and we have a lot of fun.
Mr. Luxbacher's final words.
Very happy. It's one of those things where when you get a script and you're looking at it as a possibility for the musical for the next year, and you look at it and go, yeah, I think we can do this, and then watching it come to life and watching the kids come from these scared little things that, are scared to get out on stage, to really seeing their confidence build and to see how they can bring a character to life is one of the most rewarding things I do as a director and a producer. goes like this. Well, when we were getting ready for the show on Sunday afternoon, Sid was not looking real well. You know, he was sick. He was trying to brave face it, and you know, we weren't sure quite what was going to happen. We talked about it, and he said he wasn't feeling real well, and we said, well, try to at least do the first number, and then let's take it by play it by ear, sort of see how that goes. We got to the opening of scene 5, which is his scene, and he was nowhere to be found, and I sort of assumed the worst and went over to the dressing room and got him and just said, do we need to pause the show? Should we call an intermission? Or do you think you're gonna be able to make it? And he just was not feeling like he was gonna be able to go on. So, rather than hold up the show, I sort of asked him, I said, is it okay if I go on? And show must go on. So, that's where the director and the producer has to make it happen with all costs. So, threw on the tunic. We had originally planned that there was a scene where Dennis transforms into Galahad. So we thought, okay, if you're better by then, you come out for Galahad and I'll go off stage and then we can still do the transformation. Well, he still wasn't better. So that's why the famous pictures of me with a wig started showing up all over social media because he just wasn't able to make it out. Though, he got better before the end, and I was very glad to see that he was able to come out for curtain calls and receive the recognition that he really deserved.